Yeah. Figured out. And then, and it actually struck up now. Well, you know how it is, but I ended up being delayed, so on my way. No, I took it now. I just forgot. So we started our business, but yeah, back in. See that. I'm talking about her there. Sorry. I just want to remind you that I was 6 o'clock. Yeah, my son's a friend. I'm his buddy, yeah. He went in that house. You can't sit in there.
Stacy.
A little more with that. Yeah, I went to the playroom in second grade.
You're gonna still grow.
Big job.
You know, I walked through.
Fixing my ship. It's all right.
That's all right.
I made it with my dogs.
It's July, so you're a full-time realtor now. There you go. How long were you in it? Very good.
Yeah.
That's right there. It's right there. They can probably hear my heartbeat. Yeah, yes.
So loud.
Oh,
It's just,
But you got it close.
delay.
Oh.
Get the bid.
Oh, that's good.
But it's not- Okay, that's right. My imagination.
That would be more valuable, but some of this.
I got that way, in alcohol. Yeah. Still long. All that stuff.
all right, everybody, let's find our seats, please.
Yeah, that's not. I can stay up, got a puppy, I think you said my heart. 100%.
I think I can do this. Let's see. And it's not muting. See, it says muted, but we still hear it, right? So when that happens, it is. Did it quit? Nope, it just changed songs. Okay, I know where this is. There it is. It's not muting like it's supposed to, so I'm just gonna do it this way. Okay, I thought you were having an issue. Sorry. No, you're fine. There we go. All right, everybody. All right. Here we go. Team meeting is now begun. 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Didn't work. Everybody do this. I know, there we go. Is that what we gotta do? Yeah. Yes. All right, well, welcome to team meeting. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's July. I'm looking at the date, July 1st. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Where is the year going? I say this every year. It is flying. And welcome to July 1st, the second half of the year, and also known as Q3. So here we go. It is crazy. It is crazy. All right, well, we've got a lot planned today. Lonnie and Amber are out and about on a yacht or somewhere in Europe. Right, Todd?
Supposedly, yes.
Yes, tearing it up is what yes, they were tearing it up, whatever that means. I said, well, just don't let us find you on the news. Please. So I'm sure they're having a great time. We're excited to hold the fort down while they're gone so they can go out and enjoy their time, enjoy their vacation. I need to get rid of this is bothering me. Hold on one sec. There we go. All right. Well, I do have an action-packed meeting. It started with breakfast, so thank you, Coffelt, for breakfast. We always appreciate that. And what'd you say?
The cheese eggs.
Oh, I thought you said and Cheez-Its. I was like, okay. I didn't see Cheez-Its back there, but maybe. So we're excited. Fun, action-packed meeting. My goal is to get us out of here at the 1 hour mark, which would be 11. Is that good with you? Do you prefer that? Maybe? Okay, I do. Let's try that. So let's get through. If you'll ride with me for a minute here, and let's just boom, 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 boom. If you'll take good notes, if you have questions, ask me later. But there's a lot coming your way. So just hang with me for a good hour, and then we'll get you on your way. Let's start with tell me something good. Let's do that. And maybe. You still can tell me something good while I get this going. There we go. He's got something good. Yes.
I got that 20 acres under contract.
20 acres. Yes. That was a big deal. Good job. Good job. What else? Who else has got something good? Something you can share with us? Ryan.
We just got word, our son-in-law's been overseas serving for about 17 months now.
Oh,
We
wow.
got word that he'll be coming back soon, undisclosed date, obviously. But we got word he will be coming back. So Maddie is super excited about that as well.
Good.
And so he'll be reunited.
Very good. That is good. That is good. That is good news. Who else has got something good? Something you can share? David.
I just want to brag on Randy and Darren. Well, we're in contract negotiations, it's always good to bounce things off of somebody, and you guys were available and made yourselves available, and so I appreciate that so much, giving me a lot more confidence moving through negotiations. Thank you.
Good deal. You're welcome. Do you want to share something good? Everybody meet Stacy Keith, Jake's mom. Today's a big day. Sorry, I put you on the spot.
I retired from my other career for 26 years. So I've been doing both, and Jacob's been helping me with that. So I have a listing and 2 buyers signed right now. So I'm pretty excited about that.
On her first official day as a
Yeah.
full-time realtor.
And it's he's over there talking. It's very hard for me not to say.
Well,
Jacob.
we're all gonna call him Jake.
Yeah. Did I say Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tell me the story. When I was like 19, I was playing on softball with all my older sister's older friends, and she called me Brother Bear. So then the rest of the season, everybody called me Brother Bear.
Yeah.
It's not that.
It is now.
I tried really hard, but things slip out. But I'm we discussed, does he really want his mom in his space? But I'm trying.
She's already got a $650,000 listing, 2 signed buyers.
Good job, Mom.
Yes.
Doing pretty good.
Yes.
And do great. Very good. Very good. Well, welcome. She's been in education for the last 26 years. So all of that skill will transition nicely into your new career. So welcome. All right. Kate.
2 grandchildren.
Yeah, back in the day.
Oh, in high school.
Back in the day.
Okay.
I taught for a very short time, but I was blessed to have her children. Yeah,
Nice.
or her grandchildren, I should say.
Very good.
They were 80.
Very good. All right. Anybody else? Something good. Last chance. Jake.
My son caught a shark.
Oh.
No. We went, to Panama City a couple of weeks ago and we went fishing and he pulled in two little sharks.
Okay,
So he was pretty
two
excited about
sharks. That
yeah.
is exciting. I was like, that's not at Longview. So where were you? Okay, bull sharks. Wow. Very good. Did I see a hand back here? Chad?
I have a 21-year-old.
Oh, a 21-year-old today. That's good. Yes.
Coming in an internship in San Diego, and so mom knew about this.
Oh,
Okay, and I have a 47-year-old who's what?
today. Wow. Huh. Celebrating their birthdays. That's awesome. Yes.
I'll add to that, I've got a 15-year-old today. And yesterday we went up to the Steamboat Arabia and toured that museum. We had to cut it short, but it's a pretty cool place.
It's a cool place. Yes. Yes. All right. I love it. I love it. If you got something good, stop by my office and tell me, because I definitely I could always use a good story every now and then. Okay, let's hear from our vendors. Let's start with Coffelt. Lisa, our breakfast provider. Thank you, Lisa.
All right, I just wanted to let everybody know I am going to be out next week on vacation. Of course, our staff will take care of you, no problem. And I want to thank everybody for getting the contracts into me timely, getting responses back from emails. It really does help things move along on an efficient manner. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, Todd with Fairway. Let's give it up for Todd. Walking better today. Look at you walking.
Ready for a marathon.
I know, right? Hey, buddy. All right, so real quick, I like to tell you guys about some wins. The other day, a few weeks ago, I was sitting at home on a Saturday, laundry list of crap to do to my condo, and I'm avoiding it at all costs. So I get a call off Teresa Stocking, agent in this office. She calls me and she has some concerns about one of her clients. And they went to contract with a builder of new construction in Belton. And she got to talking to him about all the financing details. And they were pre-approved with their credit union. So immediately kind of like she's a little bit suspect that, there might be some hurdles that we got to clear. So she asked me some questions and I asked her to ask them back. And so she gets me the answers and I'm just like, what? They were making her put 20% down, the buyer, go conventional 20% down. So immediately that tells me, it's my experience, that the lender just doesn't have a lot of options lending wise, right? And they're more comfortable with the borrower putting 20% down. Makes sense. They're a credit union. So asked a few questions, talked to the borrower. They applied on toddbranson.com. Within an hour, pre-approved, boom, FHA 3.5% down, slam dunk, no problem. So they didn't want to put 20% down. They had the money, they just didn't want to do that, right? They wanted to do other things with their money versus put it down. So anyway, we got them pre-approved. Within about 16, 18 days later, we closed. So the only thing I had to do was convince the builder, not really convince them, but the builder was cool with the loan switching to me. But going FHA new construction, if you're a little bit familiar with that, there's a little bit of paperwork involved in that. So from the builder standpoint, but as a loan officer, done hundreds, I can walk them through how to fill the paperwork out. It's pretty stinking easy. And a lot of listing agents know because they've been through it many times. Anyway, within an hour, had all the paperwork done, completed for the builder, had it all back, easy stuff. Buyer closes the other day, boom, happy as heck, pictures, everybody's hugging and stuff. They're heading on vacation. So anyway, if you get into a situation where you have a buyer and your ears perk up that their financing may just be a little bit, maybe it's not what they want. Doesn't mean that I have to take the loan away, but have them call me. Let me ask some questions. Maybe I can steer that other lender to change the product for them, because sometimes lenders just kind of gravitate to what's easy for them. Does that make sense? It's the way, so 32 years of doing this, I can promise you, we gravitate to what's easier for the lender, just human nature. But anyway, in a situation like that, they were slamming 3.5% down. FHA was a way better product for them than trying to scrape and pull all their assets together to put 20% down. Make sense? Any questions? Cool. Thank you.
Sweet.
Bye,
Thank you. I like it. Happy as heck. We hope all of our clients end up happy as heck. All right, I see Apex with Rusty. Come on up, Rustlin and Braylon.
Good morning. Nothing super exciting other than keep the reports coming in. Glad to help you guys with your reports. I had a couple come in this morning. Turnaround time on those is usually same day, usually or next day. If we're not getting back with you, then make the phone call. So other than that, yeah, thank you guys again for your business as always.
Thank you. I don't see Pillar to Post, and I know Royal Roofing is somewhere else, not here. I forget what he told me. Not here. All right, so appreciate our preferred vendors. Let's see, what else we got? Nope. All right, here's our calendar, and as always, it's kind of little, I'm just gonna keep on moving because I'm gonna cover all of that. I'm gonna also pause this and throw that at the end. Rusty, come on back up for our ALC Steps Challenge. And Trisha, this is our ALC, Health, Wellness, and Safety Committee. The ladies, we have been doing a Steps Challenge for the month of June.
Yes.
Some of
And
us.
what's her name? Royal.
Yes.
The contractor solution for solar and roofing, they are donating today. So first of all, thank you guys so much for your participation in this. I would like to know a little bit, Chad and I spoke this morning, like your feedback on this. Was it beneficial? What did you guys think about your steps? I mean, was it easy to get the 10,000 steps in a day? And what has this done for the trajectory of being sedentary and versus not? Anybody have any feedback? Yes.
Well, I used to do 10,000 steps all the time before I got into real estate. And then this was an eye opener because like I was way short and I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't think I hit 10,000 one day, not one day. I tried, but it was actually very difficult because I'm always at the computer and I'm just, you know, you're doing things, but you're not getting steps in. So it was an eye opener and I thought, okay, I need to kind of pay attention a little bit more and try a little harder.
Yeah, absolutely. For myself too, but I think whenever you guys do more traveling and you see other people in other countries and they don't sit like we do, they move a lot more, especially like when you're in Europe, you walk everywhere to everything. It's kind of frowned upon if you get an Uber for just a short distance. You probably should walk a few extra blocks. Me and Chad were talking this morning about what it took to get the 10,000 steps in. And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when we started this, I was like, I'm a 3 to 5 day a week gym guy, start off with like a Liverpool for 5, do the weights, come back 15 or so on the incline treadmill. Good. And then I saw on a rest day, somebody's rest day was 9,000 steps. Come on.
He's like a robot.
When I look at my how anything, I'm at 5,000, 4,500, and so I had to increase that to 30 at the end and take the dogs to rec park in 5 or 11. So I had to be very intentional.
Yeah.
On those, and then my Sundays when maybe you're coming back from the lake, you're hanging out, 1,600.
Yeah, those drive days don't help at all.
Like I gained weight on Sunday. I know about step, definitely very intentional. But
Good. Good.
It was good.
Yeah, Ryan.
It was fun to be part of the challenge. I felt like a real loser though, when I looked at my step counts. I was giving you under 10,000 unless I was hanging out with Tim.
Yeah.
And then, so Tim and I, we play golf on Mondays together and we walk on Mondays. So that helped me get to my steps because I would never get anywhere near it. I'm not a runner.
Yeah.
And so to get steps in, so there's days you'll look at 500 steps in a day. That's all I've done. I've been super efficient with my moves though.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna move 2,500 steps. Always enough. But the days, yeah, exactly. But the days that were not working off, I noticed that I had more opportunity to move around things. The days that Tuesdays, definitely a day with a ton of steps in those days.
Yeah.
That's just the realization. Okay, so on Tuesdays I need to make sure I add something in for 30 to 45 minutes to move around. But I wouldn't have realized that had we not done the challenge. I would pay attention to it. So when focus on expands.
Yep.
it's been a great effort. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're happy to do so. So thank you guys for participating. We'll do something again before the end of the year, I'm sure. This prize was for whomever turned in all of your hours at this last week. So this is kind of the golden prize. Go ahead. Drum roll, please. Anybody?
Kathy? She's
Oh,
not even
Kathy
here.
Frey.
She's not even here. Kathy Gray.
Yeah.
All
So
right, Kathy.
let's show,
Maybe she's watching online. Maybe.
let's show what she got. She got a Fitbit or like of some sort, some type of watch, smartwatch. And then she got a bottle from Herbalife Nutrition. So there we
All
go.
right, nice.
I'll leave that with you to give to
Okay,
her.
I'll give that to her. Good
Yay,
job, Kathy.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
This is a plug for Thursdays. If you don't get on Mastermind, I'm throwing in a plug for that. Hop on, be a part of the call. We learn a lot of great things. We do a lot of problem solving. So I'm encouraging you to be there. So for those of you who are gonna be on this Thursday, take a snack from the basket. It's your snack to have on Thursday during our Mastermind call. It's healthy. Bring your water bottle, whatever else you want, but take your snack. See you on Thursday. That's creative. Okay. And Trisha is leading. You'll see my slide in a minute. I'll buzz right through it, but she is leading Sold Mastermind. So that's the first time any of our facilitators have brought snacks, right? So yeah, good job. She set the bar high there. Good job, Trisha. Thanks, ladies. Here's our calendar. I recommend you grab one of these. We do have paper calendars, or you can find it online. So on Facebook. It is always there. You can always see what we have going on. All right, tomorrow I'm teaching a class. I've heard from several of you that want to know more about smart plans. It's been a while since we've done a class on smart plans. Bring your laptop. It's going to be a hands-on class. Tomorrow's July 2nd, so it's very possible we could create a smart plan and send it out tomorrow and watch that thing go all the way through. It's not just going to be like, hey, here's how you do it. Now go home and do it, because who was it? I was just talking to somebody, or heard somebody on a call I was on. They called it, because there's the 24-hour rule. And like, what's a 24-hour rule? Well, if you don't do something about it within 24 hours, you're not going to. And so like we go to family reunion or mega camp or something like that, and you get all this great information, but if you don't put it into action within 24 hours, chances are you're not going to. So let's make this a hands-on interactive class tomorrow, 10 a.m. smart plans. If that's something you want to do and be a part of, come on, I'll be right here. The office will not be staffed on the 4th of July. Sorry about that. We won't be here Friday. So you can come. You got your key fob. You come, you do whatever you want. We won't be here. We have a couple new agents that have joined us in the last couple months. So if you see some new faces around, I want to start putting them up here a little more regularly, and Lacey's going to help me do that. So Christian Jones, I don't see him here today, but he has joined us from, he's out of the Keller Williams in Springfield, came up here, his family moved to Independence. So he landed at the Lee Summit office for a minute. Now he's moved to Raymore, so he's with us. So experienced agent, and we're happy to have him. He has a cubicle over here, so if you ever see him, just say hi. We also have Mike Lesmeister. I don't know if anybody, Carrie knows this guy. She's got him, I think, Carrie, you're mentoring him, if I understand. Trying to rein him in. Is this his preferred headshot? He wanted, was that it?
No, he wanted to use the one of us getting out of the water. I'm like, no.
So she's got a lot on her hands there, but we're excited. Mike's got his license. He's with us. He's dual career, so you won't see him very often, but if you do see him around, make sure you congratulate him and tell him welcome. And then we've got Stacy. So there you are. And, I don't know where we got this one, but I think it's beautiful. And you give us whatever picture you want and we'll use that one.
Yeah.
Same with all of you. If you don't like the picture we have, or if you've got better pictures or updated pictures, get it to us. And then we will get that used, or get that going. So Mastermind on Thursday, every Thursday. So Trisha brought snacks. She's ahead of the game there. What else? Okay. This is pretty cool. Gary Keller, do you remember last year when he did the Value Squared class and we had watch parties? He's doing something similar. He's doing something called List to Last, and it's the art of the agreement, or master the art of agreement. And there's going to be 2 sessions of this class. Now, if you know Gary Keller, they're the same topic, but that doesn't mean they're going to be the same class. He kind of pivots and goes whichever way he wants to go. July 16th, he will be the first day. He's doing it, and that's in just like 2 weeks. It's 1 to 4. You'll have to watch that one on your own. I'll show you how to get it. The reason I say that is because we got a lot of stuff going on the Market Center that day. But we will do a watch party right here on the 23rd. And so put that on your calendar to attend one or both of these sessions. And, they always say, you want to list to last, to make it in this market, to make it in this industry. But it's the art of the agreement. And he's talking about how you build trust, build relationship, and get your buyers and sellers into an agreement, and why that's important, and the art of that. There's an art to it. So I want to make sure you know about that. July 16th and or July 23rd. It's just like Value Squared. If anybody remembers that, you can go onto events.kw.com. Check out that anyway, because events.kw.com's got a lot of stuff on there. There's some classes that are free. There's Zoom classes. Some of the stuff costs money, and it's elsewhere, but there's some free Zooms on there too. So check out events.kw.com. What else? Next Tuesday, and I don't see Carrie or Tom O'Connor, but they have facilitated a lunch and learn next Tuesday. They're bringing in Jeff Fletcher, the Cass County Commissioner, much like we had the Raymore guy, I forget what his title was, come in and talk about the city of Raymore. Jeff Fletcher's coming in to talk about the county. And so that's going to be next Tuesday. We don't have anything on Facebook about it just yet, but I wanted to make sure, yes, please do.
He sat on the board with us over at the chamber for a while, and he was our liaison over there. And a wealth of knowledge, he's in the know, he's gonna be able to bring you some great information around what's going on with our county. Because we always have questions around driving around, looking at things, what's going on here, what's happening, so he'll be able to bring a lot of that information. And he's fairly funny too. He'll be entertaining, I'll say that.
Entertaining information and some kind of food. I don't know what the food vendor is, but I can't think of the last time we had bad food. So the reason I want to highlight that is so you can get it on your calendar, but also be looking for that RSVP so we're a week out. Our vendors kind of like to know how many lunches they're buying. So that'll be next Tuesday following our team meeting. What else? Okay, so this was an email that went out yesterday. If you are a current capper and or a capper equivalent, so if you're on a team, your cap is structured a little bit differently, but if you've sold production wise, the cap equivalent, you are invited to our Capper Connect. We did a couple of these last year. I've been a little bit delayed getting another one going, but I knew it was important. And so I reached out to a personal friend of Caesar and I, Rich Steffen. He is a business strategy coach. He lives on the Kansas side with an emphasis on real estate. He's a life coach. He's a certified life coach, but also a business coach. And I'd ask him to come over and chat with us. And so he's going to talk to us about building clients for life, how to attract, win, and keep them. It's coming up on July 30th at 11:30 over at the bank, the conference room over at the bank. And again, if you're a capper, you should have already got an email about this. If you did not, and you think you're a capper and you didn't get the email, come talk to me, because it's totally possible it bounced back or something happened. If you're not a capper, this one won't be for you this time, but never fear, we'll do it again and we'll get you in there the next time around. So that's our Capper Connect coming up at the July 30th. So, okay. Somebody like bingo? Yeah. I like bingo. All right, so you have a bingo card on your desk. I'm gonna grab this one. This is real estate bingo, and I'll make sure I'll share this with you in here. I have more on my desk in my office. All right, so this is for anybody that wants to play for the month of July. Look at the things on there. We're trying to get a bingo. So these are activities that you can do in your business to help promote your business. It's just a way to have fun, to do what we already should be doing and to possibly be rewarded for it. So we're going to take the month of July to play bingo. Make sure you mark through. Now I noticed I didn't put a place on here for your name. So if you're going to play, put your name on it. And then everybody who participates and turns in a bingo card at the end of the month will get a prize of some sort. And then I'll put everybody's name in a hat, much like we did the Steps Challenge, and pull out a grand prize winner for anybody who got a bingo. So that's the goal. We want a bingo. but do as many activities on there as you can, because you never know what, bingo, across, down, diagonal, all that stuff. You never know what's gonna kind of pan out. So take the month of July, do some of these activities, cross them off, put your name on it. If you get it done sooner, you don't have to take the whole month. If you get it done in a week or two, turn in your bingo card. I'll collect them and then we'll do a big drawing at the end. Is there anything on there? Does anybody look at anything on there that, oh yeah, I need to do that, or I'm definitely doing that? What do you see, Joanna? What's an activity that you really like? We got to do them all.
There's a lot that
Okay.
Smart plans, I don't, they have smart plans going on, yep.
Okay. Don't have smart plans. Well, we got a class for that tomorrow. All right. Laura, what about you? What do you see on there that looks good? Get them all. Okay. Blackout. Okay. I didn't think about that. That might be worth something special. Not to mention the business we're going to find when we do this, right? Okay. That's the whole goal anyway. That's the real prize. When we get to help people buy and sell, we pick up new buyers, new sellers. All right. Let's see. What else? Oh, Darren. AI Darren.
So when it's hot and you're showing houses.
Give it up for Broker D. Broker D.
Turn that.
This is a 4 or 5 minute class
Yes.
on advertising,
Yay.
and this will be on Facebook later.
Do you want this?
Yes.
There you go. Here's the first one.
Oh, well, thanks. All right, so we need to follow rules from Keller Williams, MREC, and KREC when it comes to advertising. So Keller Williams doesn't really, and I'm not going to read these, like I said, it'll be on Facebook later, but they give us a lot of latitude when it comes to advertising. However, Keller Williams requires the Market Center DBA logo on our advertising, whether that is Facebook, Instagram, or signs that you're putting in the yard. I've been guilty of using a different KW logo, but I'm going to change that because I learned when I was reading the stuff that Keller Williams requires. So what they're saying is that they want the KW logo to be clearly visible and it adheres to the KW branding standards. One of the things is you can't change the colors. Has to be our logo, our office logo, as it's, and Brandy or Caesar, somebody can send you that if you don't have it.
Yep.
So inclusion of the Market Center DBA, inclusion of ownership statement. Each office is independently owned and operated. Needs to be on everything. I don't think there's a KW jail. I'm not sure how much they enforce the stuff we're supposed to do, but I'm going to point out what we're supposed to do. And then compliance with local board. Marketing related social media posts must meet the following requirements: DBA logo, ownership statement, compliance with local board commissions, etc.
When you say, I know you're going to show us the DBA logo. You're going to show us what that is.
Mhm.
I don't know when it is. Okay, I'll let you keep going because I think.
This has to be on all advertising, and let's define advertising. Hey, I just closed on a house. Look at this happy couple. To me, that's advertising. You probably ought to brag a little bit that you're with KW, the biggest company in the world. You're with KW Southland, the biggest and best company in Cass County. There's the logo
DBA logo.
without the gnomes. Just the,
Lacey, this is Lacey's doing. She's so good at this.
and then this has to be on everything that we consider advertising.
So let's talk about advertising.
Especially, let's put that on your signs,
Signs. What else? Business cards,
business cards.
flyers.
Yep, definitely anything printed.
What'd you say? Mailers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you don't put that on every single Facebook post, I mean, that's up to you. Kansas has different rules as far as the size of your logo or your print versus the office logo. So your stuff can't be more than twice as big as the office DBA logo. Sorry, that's just how it is. Missouri doesn't spell that out, but they still say that the office logo needs to be visible, not hidden, easy to see, all that stuff. I think the 2 times rule is something that we ought to use for both states.
Why would that be, Darren? What are they trying to do there?
Well, we don't want to mislead the public into thinking that Darren Jones Realty is the company owner, or any of you. They want notification to the public of what office you work for. Keller Williams Real Estate. Or Keller Williams Realty. That's why we can't use the word realty in our advertising. We have to say that we're with the office that we're with, the brokerage. KREC defines advertising as communication in any form of media between a licensee or other entity, someone you might hire, and consumers or the public for any purpose related to licensed real estate activity. This is from Kansas. Also, can't use the word realty, brokerage, company, or other words that could be construed as a separate real estate company from the supervising broker, Keller Williams Southland. You just need to affiliate yourself. That way the public knows who you work for. And why not? It's the biggest company in the world. It's the best company in the county. Best office in the county. Here's the part about the 2 times size. Again, this is Kansas. Internet, website, social media, social networking, signs, business cards, etc. This is Missouri. More of the same, really. Advertisement. If the licensee's name or telephone number or both is used in any advertisement, the advertisement also shall include the name and telephone number of the broker or firm that holds the licensee's license. I've kind of picked on some of you on Facebook over the last few months. Hey, you got to put in the office name. You got to put in the office number. There's the law. Keep pointing in the wrong place. Again, you have to display the brokerage information. Same thing, put the logo on it. That'll cover you. The MREC does not specify a minimum font size for the company name on signs. However, the rule requires the sign to be of sufficient size to identify the broker or firm. You can find all this stuff on the internet. This did not take me any time at all. I knew most of it. I didn't know all of it. And what I mean by this, you can get bumper stickers made at your local sign shop, stick it on your sign. So if you don't have the right logo, if you don't have the ownership statement, you can just get those printed off and go stick them on your signs. So easy peasy, not a whole lot of money.
Another thing I would also say, and I think you'd be okay with this, Darren. I always tell newer agents, before you go spending money buying signs and business cards and all the things, run it, show me a picture of it, show Darren a picture of it. Like, is this compliant? Does this work? Will I get in trouble for this? And we can say, oh, I like it, except it needs the phone number for the brokerage or whatever it might be. Your logo needs to be a little bigger or whatever. We are happy to do that before you spend money. I ordered my first signs, didn't have the office phone number on it. So I got to order a bunch of riders to go on it. So yay, more money. But so I learned a lesson the hard way. And so that's why I would say before you order anything, just take a screenshot of your template that you're going to have printed, run it, text it to Darren, text it to myself. We're happy to look at it and kind of just double check. Any questions for Darren?
He had to do that for me. I stuck a sign in my yard and someone got they were like, you can't do that legally. Turns out, yes, you can. You just can't make a big sale sign. But I had to, I sent him a picture. I was like, does this kind of sign look okay? So we had to kind of go through it.
Yeah, she was advertising her business, advertising herself. but somebody complained that it looked like she had her house for sale, another agent, if I remember right. They went to the MLS and they couldn't find it. So,
And I called the board hotline or whatever, and he said it's completely illegal to stick a sign in your yard advertising yourself. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna do it again just so I don't make anybody else mad, but.
yeah, they get mad, they get mad.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Darren. Let's give Darren a hand for. I'm sure he lies awake at night studying this stuff and keeping us out of trouble. And trust me, when you're advertising your business, your closings, your open houses, Darren's scrolling for all the stuff. So just know, does this pass Darren's test? And it's not really Darren's, it's obviously MREC and KREC, and it's his job to keep us out of trouble. So we definitely appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Darren. All right, I think. Yep. All right. Next, I've got a panel discussion because I like that. I like hearing from other agents. I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I know David is. Like when you're going through something or doing something, you're always wondering, like, I want to bounce this off of somebody. I want to know what they do, what they think, how they handle this. I process things outwardly. So sometimes just hearing it come out of my mouth and getting feedback, and it really helps. So let's do a little bit of that today with a panel discussion. So I have invited Joanna, Ryan, and Tori. So come on up, everybody. Grab a spot. And I appreciate them for doing this. I know when I called them, anywhere you want here, and you can have the water, put it on the ground, whatever you want. Sometimes when you're talking in front of people, dry mouth happens. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about today, the topic I had was something that I think we don't talk about enough. We talk a lot about how to win in multiple offer situations. We talk about what forms you need for what kind of situations. But one of the things even before that is when we get business, we know how to lead generate. We know all the things we should do to lead generate. Then we go do the things and we actually generate leads. Have you ever lost a lead? Dropped it, forgot it, didn't follow up enough? And then you see that person that you talked to for like a year or two just sold a house or bought a house with someone else, right? When you decided they ain't gonna do anything.
We're Cass County, it's okay.
Okay, is that all right? Okay, they ain't gonna do anything. And then you find out they did something, and I got them to. If anybody's ever done that, I've done it. Yeah. And then there's times, you do all this work, you go to an open house, you have 5 groups of people come through, and then you grab 5 great leads. And then next thing you know, you've got no leads again. And you're like, what just happened? And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I had early on a coach and a mentor always said, and I can hear her voice in my head to this day, the fortune's in the follow-up. The fortune's not in the lead generation. The fortune is not in the activities that you do to get the lead or the referral or the piece of business, however you get it. It's in the follow-up. And so that's what I wanted. These are 3 great agents. I could have picked many of you, but I grabbed these 3, and they were so gracious to say yes, because I believe y'all are doing it at a high level. And I would venture to say that the way you all do it is a little different from each other. And so I love to hear different ways that you guys follow up with your referrals, with your leads, with these people that you run into. So most deals are lost because not because of a lack of leads or a lack of houses or a lack of options or a lack of money, or we don't lose deals because of that. We lose them because we lack follow-up. And I see heads nodding. My head is nodding. Yes. 80% of sales, this was a stat, 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. You got to contact these people between 5 and 12 times before they actually maybe even talk to you back. But most of us, we quit after 1 or 2. We've called them, we text them, they didn't reply, they didn't call us back, they ghosted us. I'm done, moving on. And then those are the people that you see just a month later did something with another agent. They went into the next open house. They went into wherever, and then people just need some time. They need trust. They need timing. Not everybody who walks in your open house is ready to do something right now. It might need a little warming up. And so that's where this follow-up comes in. So I've got some questions I thought I would ask. I already shared that with them so that they would be prepared. And if I ever ask you to be on a panel, I will do the same. So you're not caught off guard. And I brought my blank sheet of paper and not my questions. Wow. Okay. Let me go get that off my desk. I'm so sorry. It should be on my desk. I printed it this morning. It's the email. It's the exact email for my questions. You have them written down. Well, I appreciate your patience with me because yeah. So any thoughts on is anybody just killing their follow-up? You're like, I feel good with my follow-up. Thanks, Ryan.
43 steps.
I love it. Thank you. Okay. Well, and then we have these little guys. And so I'm going to share these. I only have 2. And the reason we use them is not so you guys can hear, but it's so our people at home can hear on the Zoom. So you guys can just kind of share. All right. And I'll just start louder. So, all right, question. And we can kind of go in order. Or we can just popcorn, whatever you guys think. But we don't have to get through all of them.
Ladies first.
Oh, there we go. So Joanna, what does follow-up mean to you? And how do you define what is successful follow-up? What's that look like?
So follow-up is just making a contact with them after you've initially made a contact with them so that you leave things on a open, you might call them after an open house and say, hey, would you mind if I keep in contact with you and call you every couple months to see how, so I might ask permission from them. And if they say yes, then I'm like, okay, great. And so I will put them in my system so that I will remember to call them. So it's just kind of having an open door so that they respond to you and, or a text that they text you back. So then now you've got kind of an open communication.
Right?
Oh, you got it.
All right. For me, following up is staying in touch and showing I care. I do that, but with text, calling, or a card. Thank you card. I keep clients informed every step of the way by giving them updates, making sure they feel seen, heard, and taken care of, and just being reliable, easy to reach, and making sure that no one feels left out or forgotten by sending them the auto meals of properties that meet their criteria. And if one necessarily stands out to me, then I'll text that one to them and say, what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, someone share your thoughts, Ryan.
Thank you. For me, I look at follow-up. That's my number one job. I know we talk about lead gen and follow-up are right there together. And I look at my follow-up it's one of the most important things that I want to do when I get to my office every day. I look at my lead sheet and review those who I need to get in contact again. And the way I do that, kind of like what you do, make a second contact, but I'm looking for a connection. So I'm trying to connect with these people and build a relationship. So how do you build a relationship? You create influence with them. And how do you do that? You ask them great questions to be able to understand them better. Once you do that, you get more permission or more ability to get permission from them to contact them again. And that's what helps me secure those relationships. Then that'll move forward. And they all move forward at different time frames. Does anybody have, somebody that moves forward tomorrow or yesterday? And then they've got people that won't move forward for a decade. So there's those. So you have to be able to assess that. But follow up, the more you do of it, the better you'll be able to assess. And again, I think that's my number one job is doing the follow up.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. And then if you have questions, let me know, or, kind of raise your hand, but we will have a time at the end. You can ask some questions about their specific systems or whatever you want. Question number 2, what mindset do you adopt when following up with leads? How do you stay consistent without feeling pushy? Does anybody have that question? How do I stay consistent without making it feel pushy? Yeah, anybody, go ahead, anybody.
All right. Well, first, follow up quickly and respectfully in a timely manner. And I approach it more as a customer service, not salesy, by asking them, how can I help? Are you ready yet? So I also do research ahead of time before I call them. I pull comps and property info so I can be helpful and not just present. And then I schedule the meeting and walk them through the process. After we meet, I send a thank you card because gratitude matters. And how do I stay consistent without feeling pushy? I focus on being helpful. I'm not just checking in to stay on top of mind, but I'm offering guidance, resources, or sharing the next steps that make their process easier.
from contribution.
Yeah, I just say ditto. She said everything. That's what I do. Yeah, you know, when I meet somebody at a open house, when they walk in the door, I just ask their name quickly and then tell them my name, and I write that down so I don't forget while they're wandering through the house, because sometimes I'll come back, I'm like, what's their name? I don't know. So I write it down, and then when we start to make conversation, I say, so what are you looking for? Da-da. I turn over my little sheet of paper and I write down, like, what are you looking for? What area do you want to be in? What's your price? And I just start to ask them so that I can be helpful to help them find something else if this house doesn't work. And then following up with a thank you card. Thanks for coming to my open house. I really appreciate it. If I could ever help you, please let me know. So just following up, you know, being helpful. And then if you're getting the vibe that you're being pushy, you know, back off and say, hey, you know, whatever. So anyway.
I mean, you're taking notes in front of them. They're seeing
I am,
it.
yes. Yeah, I flip my thing over, so.
Who hates that, right?
Yeah.
Someone's writing notes about you, like they actually care what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You actually start the consultation right there. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna have one right now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. At the Fin Group, we have, you talked about mindset and what that looks like, and we have a mindset around how we follow up. And Alex, what is the mindset we have?
So they sign or die.
Till they sign or die. And it's jokingly, of course, but seriously, we will stay with them. So that's our goal, is to stay with them.
Yeah.
And make sure, and how do we do that? We add value every time we call them. We're not bugging them to meet with us to sell them a house. We're trying to find out more of what's going on in their world. How can we best help them at that point? So again, ask great questions and provide that value at every turn. And it may not always be a phone call. It may be a text message. These young whippersnappers always like to text. So, but I prefer the phone calls. I think a voice to voice is better, but text obviously works. InstaChat or Snapgram works good too. So whatever you guys are using, it's fine. But again, we stay consistent in the follow-up because ultimately they're going to need our help. We don't know when that's going to be, but imagine a massive pipeline in your business, because you continue to take notes and stay organized and use your database to be able to follow up consistently. And you had 100 people to call every week because you just took simple notes and you checked in with them. And maybe you haven't talked to them in a month or 3 months. It doesn't matter what the time frame is, but you'll decide that as you're talking to them. And then the next time you'll talk to them, and you'll be consistent because you'll ask them if you can call them in another month. You'll ask them, hey, could I call you back next quarter and see how things are going, or how your summer went and where you're at there? And they would say, yes, absolutely. And then the only thing you have to do after that, and this is important, is do it. All right. Do it on the time you said you would do it. And it's amazing what kind of influence you create with these people. And they become customers for life because you told them what you were going to do, and then you actually followed through with it. And it's amazing how many agents out there won't simply do that. And if you do, you stand way out above everybody else.
Love that. I love that. Kind of pivoting and going, I'm skipping to question 4. How do you keep, no, by the way, we're talking open houses, but I'm also talking about when you're in the grocery store and you run into somebody, you're talking to the cashier because they saw your name tag or your hat. These kind of leads, how do you, or if your neighbor says, hey, my mom wants to sell her house, any kind of these leads, we work them the same way. But I was just, so here's my question. How do you keep follow-up from slipping through the cracks, especially when you're getting busy with transactions? How do you keep that? What's up?
Oh, okay. I'll just, I use the DTD2 thing a lot. And that's like my follow-up thing, because you always have somebody to call. But I started with a new tag saying, July of 2025, so that I know if I got that lead in July of 25, all I have to do is put July, search for that tag. And maybe those are all the ones that are new, like open houses or whatever, so that I remember who to contact. So, that's all. Just put them in your database and then regularly go through it. That's
Command for your
a
database?
command. Yes, command.
Very good.
Yeah. And don't forget to put the tags in there, because if you don't tag them all, then they're all your leads. If you don't have a way of you gotta tag them. So if you don't know what I'm talking about by tagging them, you've got to learn that first, because that's the only way to do the DTD2, right?
Pivot commercial for Shelby and
Yeah.
Sadie. Our growth committee is
Yeah.
having a class on how to tag your database
Yeah.
coming up July 22nd. So more information on that coming up.
Well, for my, excuse me, for my buyers, auto emails help me keep my buyers engaged with listings while they aren't in a rush. And then I keep a handwritten list of all my active leads and clients in my notebook, and seeing it daily helps them keep top of mind for me. I check in on appropriate timeline and based on where they are in the process. And I know that there are digital tools like Command, but for me, writing it down helps me keep track and seeing it daily right
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Anybody handwriters? You write your stuff
Yeah.
out. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
So we use DTD2 also, and we tag out within our database, but I like to write everything out. So I have help with this, but we print off the DTD2 for the week, and then that gets put on my desk, and then I know exactly who to call. And then I can add my notes into the areas where I like to write things. That helps me. And then I can return that back to whoever. And then they put that into Command for me, so we can update Command consistently and make sure we don't miss that. And then when I get it back the next time, I have notes in there from the last time we spoke, so I don't have to try to remember 2,000 conversations, because I don't have enough brain power for that.
Yeah.
So that helps me tremendously. And did you have a part B on that question of the longest follow-up? Okay.
Next.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's right. That was on my notes right there. Yeah.
Or DTD2, somebody may be going, especially newer agents. What is DTD2? Thank you. DTD2 is something we picked up, first of all, it debuted in bold. If you ever took bold, it stands for Do the Database 2. So that means 2 letters, and we'll go into this another time. This isn't a DTD2 class, but I will put the chart back on Facebook. You can see it just tells you each week which 2 letters of the alphabet you should call. And if you follow the plan, you will have interacted with these people at least 4 times a year. So it's a great system. Okay, that leads me to my next question, Ryan. And it looks like you're geared up for this. What's the longest time it has taken you to convert a lead? And what kept you following up with them?
So I had to look this one up, and because I knew it was a long time. It was 2014, a day much like today, when I met the person, and we finally closed out the transaction at 3 p.m. on July 22nd, 2023. It was a long follow-up. However, the relationship had been cemented in that time frame, and the follow-up was always being done, and the connections were being made, and there were multiple referrals for other pieces of business that happened in that time frame. So just because I knew I would eventually help this family wasn't the only reason I wanted to help them. 1, I care about them. 2, they have a large circle of influence as well. And because I know that, I want to stay connected with them. And because of that, I earned the right to receive multiple referrals from that family and help several other people. So again, it made a tremendous difference in our business.
You said 2014?
Yes,
You were a pretty new agent in 2014,
I was.
but you did the right stuff.
I didn't know any better. I just I just came to class and like, what do? I do not know what to do. What do I do? And I went out and did it terribly, and I got better at it. That's what it is. But yeah, 2014, I just got my license months before that. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible. It's not that long. Yeah. Well, for me, oh, sorry.
It's not the longest time.
Okay. Well, for me, my longest active lead has been ongoing for about 2 years now. They're looking for something very specific in Spring Hill, and the right home just hasn't come up yet. So I stay in touch and send over anything that might be a fit and check listings almost daily with them in mind. And what keeps me following up is knowing that it's not if, it's when, because I believe in patience, persistence, and showing people that I'm in it with them for the long haul.
I think my longest one was like back in 2020, I sold a house on Ryan Drive in, Georgia Place. And somebody was walking by and saw my sign. They took my name. We called. Anyway, that was a lead that I followed. They said they were going to sell. We met with them. Anyway, they didn't sell for 2 years later, but then this year they bought a house, and they referred their brother, which he just closed. And that was my very biggest sale I've ever had. And that was from like probably 5 years of just following up, every you know, whatever, 6 months or whatever, keeping that going. And I still have one that my very first sale that I made in Cleveland back in 2018, I still have a lady that was the next door neighbor that came to my open house. I still am in contact with her, and she said she's gonna move to Florida someday and she knows she'll use me, but I still stay in contact with her from then.
Awesome.
Yeah.
An open house in Cleveland.
Yeah.
A city of 600 people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And it was the next door neighbor that came by, just curiosity. She wanted to see the house. So, yeah. You never knew.
And sidebar on that, things we do not tell our clients. Imagine if you would have bought this home 10 years ago, you'd have paid half the price for it
Oh.
and a much better interest rate.
I know.
We don't say those things though. Yeah. That's right.
I know for me, the longest lead I had, somebody sent me a referral and I thought, okay, this is amazing. I was a newer agent. I went over there and I thought, I'm going to take this listing, right? You go over there, had all my paperwork and he goes, well, come on in. I want to show you all the work I want to do before I list. I'm like, oh, okay. Room by room, slow talker. Anybody worked with a slow talker? And he showed me all the things and then he began to work on things and he talks and he works just as slow as he talks. And so it took him 3 years to get this little 3-bedroom house ready to sell. But every time he did, he'd be like, hey, I got the floors done. He'd send me a picture. Hey, I put in new windows. Yay. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, can we just get this done already? But I didn't say that, of course. You just go, wow, they look so great. It's looking good. You're working hard. Keep it up. You know, and then eventually I got to sell that house, help them buy another one. And then I got 2 more referrals from their family. So it took me 3 years, but I got, what is that? Four pieces of business from it. So it was a little brutal. I'm glad I didn't quit though. Okay. We're just a couple more and these are kind of fun. I know we're almost out of time, but what's that? Oh, gotcha. You're tired. Okay. Maybe we should stretch. What is one follow-up mistake that you've made? And what did that teach you?
Okay. So one mistake that I've made was not following up consistently enough with someone who told me in advance that they wanted to listen about 6 or 7 months. So I sent them some initial info up front and then waited a bit too long, closer to about 2 months before their timeline to reach back out to them. And by then I'd lost the momentum I had initially gained with them and they ghosted me. So it taught me that even when someone is months out to regular check-ins, even just monthly or even weekly, are key to staying on top of mind and building that relationship.
Very good.
I have a 6-month policy. If we're within 6 months of listing your home, we're going to be talking at least once a month. And as we get closer, it'll get even tighter time frame when we get to even prep work or staging or curb appeal time. We'll definitely amp up the conversation at that point until we do sign the listing, which we'll sign the listing usually a couple weeks to a month ahead of time. Just to secure everything because we're putting a lot of energy and effort into it at that point. We don't want any missteps. So yeah, going too long without connecting with somebody, you feel like, man, I don't want to bother them now. And so this is one that Tim does really good at. He's taught this class and we do the apology script. And I've done that before because I want to get back on the horse and get going again. And I'm like, man, I haven't talked to this person in 2 years. They hate me. Well, they haven't called me either, right? So fine, get over it and call them and apologize. And let them know that you've been super busy and helping a ton of families and real estate's amazing. What's going on in your world? Catch up with them for 5 minutes and rebuild the momentum so that when you do have another opportunity to connect with them. And then the thing I said earlier, just tell them when you're going to call them back again. And then the most important part, do it.
Well, I had an open house lead that was wanting to sell and buy, and we had good rapport going and, he wanted to sell over, not Lone Jack, far way out, Kingsville. Anyway, what happened was one day he calls me and says, hey, we wanted to go see some houses in Creekmore. I said, oh, and now I haven't signed with him yet. I didn't sign anything with him. We were just in communication. So I'm like, awesome, I'll meet you out there. I should have brought a buyer's agency with me, but I didn't because I just thought, okay, we'll just start the process. So we were looking at houses. And he said, hey, we're gonna, I said, hey, I've got to go. I had to leave. Stupid me. And he says, well, we're going to keep looking at some open houses. He went to an open house. The agent convinced him to just let her do both sides, and he put a contract on a house that day. And I was like, wow, I missed it. And it was a $650,000 house. And so I just thought, you know, I should have said, hey, I'll come with you. Let's go see these houses together. I'll be with you. I'll help you. I had sent him a lender. I had sent him a bridge loan guy. I mean, we had good rapport. But when it came time, the other agent and you know, whatever, she just said, hey, I could do it for you. I could do it all for you. You know, you're not signed with anybody, because we weren't. And that was my fault. So
Yeah. Well, now she would have been. That was
now I would-
pre-NAR settlement.
That's right.
That'll never happen
That'll never
again.
happen.
I had this come up. I held a house open for Lonnie, one of his listings in April, and had some great conversations. Great people came through. I was like, these people like me. Like, I feel like that, right? When you're with them,
Yeah.
you're like, if I can get in front of somebody, they like me. I got all their information. They're downsizing. They live on 30 acres in Lone Jack or somewhere. And they're downsizing, need something, a villa. Cool. I can help with that. And I called them, sent them I did the initial parts of the follow-up. What I didn't do is I didn't tag them in my database. They went in my database. I sent them a card and I sent them a text, and I did the initial parts. Then I didn't follow up. I didn't call. I didn't set my reminder to tell me to call. Life got busy. I have another job, you know, and I didn't call them. So I'm sitting there last week. I tagged open house. So I pulled up all the people I got from open houses. They came up. I'm like, oh, I should call them. It was such a great conversation. I thought something in my head told me, look up their address in the MLS. It's on the market. It's already on the market, 42 days on the market with another KW agent that I know. And I know that chances are he picked that lead up from an open house. So they left my open house. Maybe the next week went to another open house, built great rapport. That guy probably followed up. He got the listing. $820,000.
But who's counting?
I'm counting. It's my error. It's my fault. That's on me
Yeah.
completely. And he deserves it because he did it and I didn't. Yep.
People don't know. If you do not educate them
Yeah.
on whenever they're going to open houses, make sure they let them know that you have an agent.
Yeah.
All those things, what
Yeah.
the repercussions are, how this does not, you know, build a relationship with you guys. You got to,
Absolutely.
because I did that. I didn't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who hates going to open houses with their potential buyers? Or we should already have consultations and signed. Everybody should be signed already. So
Right.
let's say we've already done that. We had our consultation up front and they sign with us and we love them and everything. And they want to go look at a bunch of open houses because they're not ready to buy until 3023 or whatever it is, right? So it's going to be a minute, right? But we're not going every weekend to watch. So send them with a stack of your business cards. Say, hey, when you go in, if the buyer's agent's there or the host of the open house is there and they ask you some questions, let them know you're working with the Fin Group. Hand them our card. That way they know who to call. And if they have any more questions for us, and we're happy to handle those for you. And also you want to do that because they'll leave you alone. Because these open house agents are clingy. They're going to be all over you, following you through the house. It's kind of weird. So just hand them my card and they'll leave you alone right away. And that helps tremendously
Yeah.
when they go in. And then you get those phone calls from the agents that are hosting open houses and like, hey, your client came through today. Like, fantastic. Good feedback, especially for those that are a slower pace than what we would love to have. And that's just kind of the way it goes. But again, you know how active. If you get 2 phone calls in 2 weeks, like, and you haven't followed up with that client, you know you better be making some phone calls in at that point. But again, the fortune is in the follow-up. So it's been some good follow-up stuff here today.
All right, we are going to wrap this up because I told you I would. But following up, remember this, and I have to tell myself it. You're not pestering them. You're not bothering them. You're not selling them. You are actually calling them to remind them, I'm here to help you. I've got the answers you need. I'm the person that's going to help you. And so it's about changing your mindset. I'm not annoying them. They actually do want to hear from me because I'm here, because I care, and because I'm here to help. So you might have to tell yourself that before you call them, because I know if you'll be your biggest critic on, I'm not going to call them. I just saw them last week. You know, I don't know them like that. Well, something else I heard is you're going to hear about 5 or 6 no's before you hear a yes. I forget the number. Or maybe they'll ghost you 5 or 6 times before they actually call you back or pick up the phone. keep going. Follow up till they sign or die, or till they tell you to jump in the lake. So tell you to go away and stop calling them. I'm still calling them. Yes, Josh.
When,
Yes.
kind of a win. Some of the client we helped a couple of years ago, and I've been scared to follow up because I haven't talked to her since then. And she called yesterday to ask some other unrelated question. And we were on the phone, probably 15, 20 minutes. She's bored. An older lady, just poured out her life. And she called me asking some completely unrelated question and not selling a house. But like, she needed to have that conversation.
Yeah.
People don't talk on the phone hardly anymore, so kind of I've been thinking about it a lot. Oh, this is that you feel like you're bothering people, but so many people.
They're alone.
They want that conversation.
Yeah.
They're stoked to have it, even if, they haven't talked to them
That's right.
for 3 years.
And you built the relationship stronger, so now you have permission to call her back.
Yeah.
Did you ask for a referral yesterday, by the way?
I-
So see who she knows.
So she was,
She might have remembered something.
she-
Yeah.
but, it was just, it was someone I would have been scared to reach out to.
Yeah.
Not good at all, and she needed that conversation. So
That's where you're going to get those referrals from. That you're going to ask, like when you have those conversations and you get into those relationships, you're going to be able to ask for permission to get that referral, or who do you know, so you can call them too. So Todd had a question as well.
And so, lean on your expertise, and it's okay to be good at what you do. I always say that, it's okay to be good. We sometimes we push that down, oh, it's no big deal. Well, yes, it was. It's a big damn deal. And so they look at you as the expert. So it doesn't surprise me a bit that they call me live as well. And even if it's the most obscure thing, text or something, a lot of this county crap we've been dealing with the last 12 months, a lot of you guys' commission issues within our lawsuit, I get those calls too, and it's okay to be the expert or get them to somebody. Lean on your expertise.
Okay. Any other last thoughts or questions you want to ask the panel about follow-up? We get some ideas about follow-up? Sounds like follow-up. Don't ever not follow up. Yes.
It's a note doing this or sitting here listening made me think of everybody I've accumulated over the past year. And I realized that I haven't talked to somebody since literally the last 4th of July, somebody else since prior to that. So now I'm like, good morning, it's been a year, how are you doing? But
Yeah.
This is actually really good. So now I've already had one response. I'm working on sending another email, and I'm like, these are all people that actively wanted to buy, and I just slipped my mind.
Yeah.
So thank you, because now I'm following up with people I forgot about.
Good. Good. All right. All right. Well, I think we're good. I think we're done. Thank you, panel. Appreciate them. Let's give them a hand. And I did go 9 minutes over, and I apologize, but I wanted to get through it. All right, guys, that's a team meeting today. Thanks for coming. Have a great Tuesday.
Did Ronnie change that?
Well, let me find here. Snack for Thursday. What's that? I have some stuff that I can't.